Hey, Bob. How's it going?
All right. We're glad to be talking to Nick and the Sonic State viewers here about the Third Wave.
Yeah, so I reviewed the Third Wave. I very much liked it. Since then, the desktop's come out, right? So
Yes.
this is it. It's a lot more compact, isn't it?
It is. But it does everything that the keyboard does. And the desktop is essentially the same thing. As far as the processing power, as far as what you're hearing out of it, as far as the 24 voices and the analog filters and everything else, it is identical. Same 8 outputs, everything is the same. It has a abbreviated, but only slightly, set of controls. So what I mean by that is if you look at the keyboard, for instance, you've got 3 oscillators down here. We're not going to make you menu dive up here. We've got one set of oscillator controls, but you don't go into a menu. You just hit the different buttons to get to the 3 oscillators. Same thing with effects. We've got 2 rows of effects down here on the keyboard. However, here we've got 1 row, but we've got a button to switch between the effects.
Yeah. So you make it more compact.
Yeah, so you're still getting the same information out of that. And yeah, it is a smaller footprint and it is much less expensive as a result. So whereas these are, at least in the US, listing at $49.95, these are listing at $34.95 with the same thing.
Excellent.
Now, what else is new? Well, what else is new is that since you've reviewed it, we of course did the PPG processing chain as the starting point. So it will do all of the PPG wave tables and all of the beautiful imaging and beautiful garbage, as I like to say, that comes down with that. It will still do the user wave tables where we take a piece of audio and analyze it for you and then give you the wave table back. It still does analog because you've got 3 oscillators. So you've got the 3 oscillator analog. It does FM. But now, this is crazy. It does. So I'm going to hit the button here and we are now hearing sampling. So we've got sampling on this thing now. You're hearing right there a drum loop and a Fender Rhodes sample. And that Fender Rhodes sample is getting played right now with a hi-hat and it's going to drop right back in. You've got 35 seconds of sampling and you can do anything that you can imagine here to a sample just like you would.
So is this one sample that we're listening to or 3 samples, what you were saying?
Oh, we're listening to a bunch of different samples right here.
All just playing simultaneously.
Yes,
right, okay, gotcha.
Yes. So this is drum loops and a hi-hat sample and Fender Rhodes. And the Fender Rhodes is multi-sampled, right? So you can get it across the keyboard.
So are they playing through the sort of 3 oscillator parts that then go via the filters? Is that how that's working?
So you've got 3 oscillators, and any of the oscillators, or all of the oscillators, or anything in between, can be samples now.
Right,
so
gotcha.
you can do, and because remember you've got 4 parts on this thing, you could actually do 12 different samples all at the same time if you really wanted to.
Right, of course, yeah.
And each sample is a multi-sample. So you've got the ability to do 8 samples across a single location that you're looking at. So if I look here down on the keyboard at the Amen break, okay? If you look over here at one of the slots, okay, this is the 808 kick drum. That's sample 01 slot. That can have 8 things, and this one actually does have 8 things. So the Amen cuts, we've got 8 different cuts of the Amen break in here. So it's 8 multi-samples across.
Yeah.
You've got a total of, we're not competing with Contact or something. You got a total of 35 seconds. However, when you think back to the PPG and it having 3.5 seconds, this is an order of magnitude bigger than that.
And then you can process those with the synth engine as well.
Yes, and that was what you were kind of hearing there. So, and you can do, I mean, you can do anything you want with this. So let me play this Amen break with you real quick. I'm going to hit go on this. Or I think I'm going to hit go on this if I can get to the point where I've got it. There we go. Okay, so I'm hitting the 808 kick while these loops are playing here. And up here I've got a split and I'm playing a keyboard. So you can divide this up however you want, and then down here now I'm sending the delay line, or I'm sending the aim-in brake out to a delay line. So yeah, you can split this up however you want. This is the case where we've got an 8-part multi-sample doing the aim-in brake. We've got another one doing the 808 kick, and then we've got up at the top a keyboard split. So
nice.
Yeah, so you can do this any way you want it.
So do you sample them in via the inputs, or can you drop them in via the USB?
And you can do either. So you can either come back through the input and sample like a traditional, I don't know, emulator 2, or you can have it come in via the USB, so that you're bringing in waves, wave files.
Right.
Yes.
And so, okay, so, or you could process them as wavetables and have them do even more weird stuff, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. So let me play you one here. This is Kurt, one of our brilliant sound designers, and Maureen, she has done these polychords that you're about to hear. This is an example where we've got an 808 complete kit going down here, and we've got these polychords going on up here. So I'm just going to play for you for a second. So you're hearing a bunch of stuff going on here, and you're also hearing wavetables. But now let me stop this thing, and I'm going to show you what's going on up at the top. Here are these are samples. Okay, but they're also being modulated and run through the synth engine, so I can do stuff like that with pressure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so anything that you can think of as far as the 128 destinations that you've got in the mod matrix and all of the stuff that you've got at the beginning, it's possible now with the sample. So the samples can also be brought down to 12-bit or down to 8-bit.
Right.
And they can also be brought down from 48 kilohertz all the way down to 10 kilohertz on the sample
So you can
rate.
really go lo-fi if that's what you want.
You can go not only lo-fi, but that also spreads out your time.
Yeah, of course.
So if you drop down to 24K, you just doubled your sample time.
Was I hearing stereo samples there as well, or are they mono?
These are normally mono. However, because you've got the parts here, you can definitely create stereo.
Right.
We've got examples of stereo pianos and stuff like that you can also put in here. However, you are eating double your time if you're doing that. Yeah. Yes. So, but yeah, since you've talked to us last time, this has been added in addition to all the synth features that we already had. And then the other thing that has been added is if we go into the same bank here, I'm going to show you, whoops, not this bank, there we go. So we've got now the Prophet VS items in here. Why Prophet VS? Because when Sequential was trying to come out with the VS, they bought a PPG and analyzed it, and although they came up with a different synthesis method, the same mistakes with the imaging and all that beautiful garbage I was talking about are in there for the Prophet VS too. So we don't have a joystick on here. I'll explain how that works in a minute. But these are some of the original factory patches from a Prophet VS. This is Elise. This one is number 69, the film music. So, and you can hear it moving around just like you would with the original Prophet VS. So it is following the same loops and everything that you would have done on a Prophet VS. This is one they call film string. And then these are all factory patches. So that's the Pac Bell. And then last but not least, I'll play you this one. I'll play you two others. And then this one is the one that started one of the Prince records on Sign of the Times, and it's loud.
Nice.
Yeah. So you've got now, in addition to all the things we talked about, you've got sampling, and you've got now the Prophet VS engine in there as well. Now, what came along with that? Well, you've got a total of 48 positions for wavetables if you're in the PPG world. They only originally had 32. You've got the two new ones now that are the Prophet VS, and you've got anything else that you want to add yourself. So now you've got the ability to add these 8-bit, 128 length sample wavetables if you want. We've always had the ability to do the user wavetables, which are 96 kilohertz full modern wavetables. There are 64 slots. People forget that because we only shipped with 48. So on the website, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to have 16 more. So you will have the full 64 wavetables that you can put in there as far as that goes. And then as far as the sampling goes, we've also added features like, for instance, modulating the start time on a sample and that sort of thing. Yeah. So you've got a lot of new features that have been added since you've reviewed the unit. And we continue, because we're crazy, to listen to all the users that say,
is there much headroom in there to kind of keep going and adding stuff? I mean, or are you up against the edges yet?
We're getting close to the edge, and we're also working on a new product for next year.
Right. Okay.
So we are going to not do a whole much more with this, but the fact that we could squeeze 35 seconds of sampling out of it, and some of these other things, and we've still got feature requests coming in from users all the time. So we're going to try to keep up with those. And yeah, this is not the end of the line for the third wave whatsoever.
Right.
But we are going to, of course, focus on
other products,
on other things.
Okay.
Yes.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I think that I think I can say with a straight face, having worked at other places in the past, that we are definitely listening to the users and everything that they're trying to suggest. We are trying and seeing what the feasibility is and getting it in there.
Excellent.
And sampling, I think, is the craziest one.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you, Nick, and all of you folks out there in Nickland.